What's up, Cheesehead TV? Aaron Nagler here with some extra cheese for you. I am all alone here at LiveX. Well, not all alone. There's some people in the office, but production-wise, people, producers, all over the place doing other jobs. So here I am, chatting with you fine folks on our YouTube channel. Thanks to everyone who followed along while I was in Green Bay, doing our Packers Daily Chats live from training camp. I am now, as you can tell, back in New York, back at LiveX, and doing the thing I do, some fun content just dropping a little while ago. My chat with Steve Zabin this morning about Bart Starr's snubbing by Gannett, the top 100 Packers poll list thing that they put up. And then a little bit ago, reportage from Minnesota saying that, the Packers were all in on trying to trade for that kicker from Baltimore. That's very interesting, wouldn't you say? Especially after Brian Gutekunst went and got camp competition for Mason Crosby, now looking to possibly attempt to trade for somebody. I tell you what, I understand the impetus to try and move on from Mason or perhaps give him competition, but I'm here to tell you that it would be a big mistake to move on from him in the last year of his deal, or it's close to the last year of his deal, set to be a little bit over $4 million cap hit in 2019. To me, his experience is that alone makes him worth that cap amount. And I understand that he had a bit of a slip last year in production. You could probably say he helped causing that Detroit game. I understand all that. But and I know, the moment he was released by the Green Bay Packers, he would be scooped up by either Chicago or Minnesota, and he would come back to haunt the Packers. It's just the way it would be, just how it would happen. I don't even know. You guys know I'm the lot of ball game left guy, and I'm a let it play out guy, but I don't need to let it play out in this instance. I know exactly what would happen. I'm much, much more comfortable going with the devil in this instance, and that would be Mason Crosby kicking for the Green Bay Packers. Hello to everybody in the chat here, even the people writing stuff that I can't publish. Nags, what do you think on the comments on Fackrell? I'm not sure on the comments on Fackrell. Which comments would they be? I think people take Crosby for granted, especially in this climate. Kevin, I think that is one of the major things that people are quick to forget and or be dismissive of. I think when you look at the fact that he's got tons of experience kicking not only in inclement weather but Lambeau Field in particular, and how the wind swirls, etc. Those are all things you're gonna have to build with a new kicker, and you're not going to be able to really get around that. So whatever they have to do, they have to get they got to get some solid. That position needs to be solidified regardless. So, Nags, updates, thoughts on Lazard making the 53. Joseph, I don't see it. I know he's made some noise. He had a very sweet catch for a touchdown there in the preseason game, but I don't see it. I think he's got way too much talent in front of him. And it's not to say he can't do it, not to say he couldn't shine in the next couple preseason games and start making noise, but that seems like a big jump. Is Crosby being replaced actually a thing? We're the Bears without him. I don't know if they're the Bears, but they're definitely going to go through some growing pains trying to move on from him. Like you always say, Nags, you don't move on from good football players. Is what I say. But the Packers seem to be okay with that, i.e. Mike Daniels. Is Bulaga healthy? Cole, yes. He's been given a few veteran rest days, but for all intents and purposes, as healthy as he can possibly be at this point in his career, yes, he is healthy. Hey, from Switzerland. Oh, always the Swiss checking in. Thanks for the great content each day. Well, thank you for checking it out, Phil. Does Sullivan make the team? Oof. I think that's a bit of a long shot, but hey, he's made some plays. He's turned some heads. Let's see what happens in these remaining preseason games. That's where you really start to differentiate yourself, so to speak, in the live reps, especially when it comes to tackling. This team, oh my God. I mean, I kept asking LaFleur about the lack of tackling in practice, and then they get out there that first preseason game and miss 24 tackles. Yeah. It's amazing what happens when you don't practice your tackling. Oh, look, you miss a lot of tackles. I'm not saying I'm crazy. I'm just saying I'm crazy. Summers looks really good. Hard to keep him off the field, and Moore needs some stick him on his hands. Yeah, Gary, Moore's outing on last Thursday was less than promising. However, LaFleur did say he had an excellent practice yesterday and that showed a whole new attitude. Maybe that is something that springboards him, and maybe he goes on to have a really nice preseason. One can only hope. As for Summers, I thought, yes, I'm with you. I thought he shined early on in that game. I do think a lot is being made about his performance against the Texans, and not a lot is being talked about the fact that, yes, he started gangbusters. But as the game went on, you really saw him start to slip. A few missed tackles, a few bad angles. Maybe that's conditioning. Maybe that's something, they just haven't played football in a long time, and he went pretty much the whole game. So that should come with time as far as getting his legs underneath him, etc. But there's no doubt that the game slipped on him a bit as the evening wore on. What's my opinion on LaFleur so far? William, I know nobody wants to hear it, but it's still so early. I love what he's done as far as the vibe in camp. I love that he has started to put his own stamp on things, even going so far as to tell Packers PR that he is going to do a interview with Pardon My Take. Not suggest, not ask. He told them, essentially. Sean McVay did it, so he wanted to do it. And he did it. And, that's certainly not something Mike McCarthy would have ever done. So, little things like that. And the vibe, like I said, at camp has been really up. I love the music. I love the feel of it all. So, but outside of that, he's been fine. He's gotten better in press conference settings, but winning press conferences doesn't win you football games. So I'm not really concerned about that. I do wonder about the defensive side of the ball, the tackling, and how that ends up manifesting itself over time. But I'm willing to wait out his first training camp and see how it produces whatever team it's going to produce, and it becomes Matt LaFleur's first Green Bay Packers team. And then I'll judge it accordingly. Think they add an inside backer to go with Summers, Stephen? They really like this undrafted kid that they've been running. Went with the first team yesterday. I don't think they'll make a major move. I do, like I said on Twitter yesterday, I think they'll add depth probably. But I'd be surprised if they went out and signed a free agent that you've heard of or traded for someone of significance. I think they'll do what they often do, bolster the depth, but elevate guys who are already on the roster and have been with them since the spring. Will he be a highly successful football coach? Well, we'll see. We'll find out if he can take them to the Super Bowl and win it and have a street named after him. We'll go down LaFleur Drive someday. I feel like it's harder for NFL players to be game ready with the amount of snaps they get nowadays. What are your thoughts? Tanner, I agree with that sentiment for the most part, as far as, there's so little hitting / live rep stuff going on in camp these days. It does lead to, sloppy play early on, and the defense often has a bit of an advantage because it's much more read and react. Although I think those days it's been mitigated somewhat just because offenses are just given every advantage when it comes to the rule book. But that said, yeah, I hear what you're saying as far as, there is so little hitting, and just as far as number of practices and amount of practicing with LaFleur. That's one of the things that you really notice about his camp in comparison to, the last 13 years of Mike McCarthy. Practices are very short, and the word is always, well, we're getting done what we need to get done, work smarter, not harder, etc. And that's all well and good, and I'm down with that train. But like you say, it does tend to lead to maybe some, a bit of time is needed at the start of the season and or preseason to get these guys into game shape. And, that's not just in Green Bay. That's NFL-wide. Let's see. Players are often not ready. Oh, I said that already. Thinking we're going to see all the first-team offense on the opening drive of the game this week? Brandon, I would think so. Barring whatever injury issues they might deal with and or precautions they want to take, I think we'll see the offensive line. I think we'll see Rodgers. And then who knows? Adams, obviously, with whatever kind of combination of skill players. But yes, I think we'll see Rodgers at least for a series. I can't believe they would go into the season installing a brand new offense with live reps only, say, in one preseason game, because I'd be absolutely shocked if they played the fourth preseason game. So you have to think these next two are the dress rehearsal for the offense, as far as not even just the production and what they want to do down and distance, produce on the field, etc., but just the operation of it. Getting in and out of the huddle, shuttling guys in and out. And that's something LaFleur talked about last week. A big part of getting this offense up on its feet and getting going and moving and doing it in the timely fashion that he wants it done in comes with, shuttling guys in and out. We saw a ton of that on Thursday night against the Texans. Well, guys like Devontae Adams and Geronimo Allison, Kumaro, all those guys need those reps to do that. The running backs, the fullback, the tight ends, those guys are going to be all going in and out, play in, play out, and then have to get in the huddle and then get the call and then get up to the line of scrimmage, all with the urgency that LaFleur is looking for. That takes live game situations. And I can't imagine they're just going to do that in one preseason game. So, yes, I would expect to see the starters at least for one series on Thursday night. Could Fackrell play inside? No. Thoughts on Shepard? Nick, he's making a bid. And now with Trevor Davis injured, he's taking some first-team reps as a returner. This is it. This is his chance. The longer Trevor Davis is out, well, we'll see tomorrow once they're back at practice, see if Davis is back in there. But the longer Davis is out, the more Shepard has an inside track, especially because he is really kind of the one lone slot guy, body type-wise, that they have on the roster. All their other receivers, most of their other receivers are some tall, long-limbed guys, and he's a much shorter, quicker, darting kind of player. So maybe that gives him a bit of an edge at finding a spot on the 53-man roster. But, yeah, I mean, he's what we talk about each and every year when it comes to training camp, a guy who's a long shot, who you don't think has much of a chance, but he makes a play each and every day, even if it's just one play, enough to turn heads, enough to make coaches take notice. And he's done it every practice, and he did it in the preseason game. You keep doing that, and then you add return ability, special teams ability. That gives you at least a shot of making that 53-man roster. So, yes, I think he's very much in the mix. And the longer Davis is out, the better his chances get. Nago just tweeted while live. No, I tweeted right before I went live. Salty Jordy. That's how it works, buddy. Jenkins going to take over Lane's spot at guard. Dustin, he's making a push. There's no doubt about it. He had a very strong game Thursday night. LaFleur, I did ask him about that after the game, and he said, the reason Lane's out there is because it is a competition. He thought Lane handled himself as a professional when it came to actually, being told, look, you're going to play. You're in a competition for your job. And I thought Lane played pretty well, and he has played pretty well all throughout camp. We'll see if they feel comfortable enough with the rookie to give him some, legit reps with the first team unit in a live setting. For right now, I still think it's Lane's job, but Jenkins has done absolutely nothing to hurt himself in that competition. Let's see. Who do you like better, Shepard or Lazard? Shepard. With Burke's injury, does Josh Jones suddenly become more valuable? Duke, you have to think so a little bit. I don't think it's a one-for-one thing, but I do think it means that if they were to have to rely on heavy personnel when it comes to their dime, they're going to put Josh Jones down there. He's already a year in the system. He's had a decent camp in that regard. And if they don't like what they have, say coverage-wise, blitzing-wise, etc., from the guys that they will be elevating, Summers and crew, you have to think, they're going to have to lean on Josh Jones a little bit. Now, Pettine has not shied away from using a ton of defensive backs. And part of the reason is because those guys are cross-trained in some regard, some of those interior guys, whether it is Raven Green, whether it is Josh Jones, to do a lot of the work that the inside backers have done in the past. So, yeah, I think it definitely elevates his value to the team. I'm glad you asked this, Nick. Am I serious when I talk about Kaepernick, or am I trolling? I am very serious in regards to he is out there and available and has stated that he wants to play again in the NFL. And I am serious when I say he is an upgrade, even after not playing for several years, even after ending, however you want to look at the end of his tenure in San Francisco. He is still better than what the Packers have on offer behind Aaron Rodgers. Now, Do I sometimes point that out when I know a lot of people will lose their collective minds? Of course. So is that trolling? I guess so. It's just funny to watch people lose their minds by stating facts. Is he better than anybody the Packers have? Yes. Even after his break, even after, like, however you want to regard the last season in San Francisco, if you actually watch the tape, it's not nearly as bad as you think it is. But even with all that, is the point to win football games? Because that's what I thought it was. And if that's the case, and you were honestly trying to upgrade at backup, yes, Colin Kaepernick is a much, much better option than Kaiser, Boyle, or Wilkins. So if throwing out facts is trolling, I guess I'm under the bridge. Raven Green, a surprise? I wouldn't call him a surprise. I think he's picking up right where he left off. He's getting a lot of quality reps. They like him on that as that mixed back heavy, what do they call it? Like a heavy nickel when they drop down a third safety into the box. He's now kind of manning that now that they got Savage back there. I wouldn't call him a surprise. I think he did some strong work last year. Maybe he's playing a bit more than I would have thought, but nothing that he's done on the field has surprised me yet. As far as I didn't, it's not like Danny Vitale, who has completely blown me away. Green is picking up right where I thought he would. Yes, but Kaepernick would be more expensive than our backups. Who cares? Literally, who cares? Okay, second of all, you don't know what he's asking for. Are you his agent? Have you talked money? No? Oh, you saw something quoted in the media. Yeah, none of that means anything. Like, oh my God. Oh, would they have to spend a little money to improve the football team? Oh, me without my muff. You guys worry about the salary cap and all this stuff. Who cares? Yes, forgive me. I don't want to go through a third season where, oh my gosh, if the quarterback gets hurt, we're fucked. I'd like to maybe get through a game without having to hold my nose while I watch the offense. Sorry, that's just me. Thanks for being cool and addressing this. You are one of the few. How many of those complaining are not eating a hot dog, talking, or swilling a beer when the song is played? Oh, you're talking about the kneeling. Oh, God. Look, again, I want to win football games. I don't care if he kneels. I don't care if he sits. I don't care what he does. I want to win football games. And I thought that was the idea of putting a collection of players together and calling them a team. That's just me. Why do fans care about the salary cap, Josh? I guess because they want to be GMs. Boyle is awesome. Woo, William. Awesome is a big word, literally and figuratively. He's not better than Kaepernick, though. What's with this weird glare? Oh, yeah, I think it's my here. How's that? That might help. Or maybe not. I don't know. Blaine Gabbert would have been a good option as he was in the LaFleur offense in Tennessee. Yeah, but he's Blaine Gabbert. Are you floating in space right now? Ladies and gentlemen, we're floating in space. What if Danny Vitale does push-ups during the anthem? Then the internet explodes. Should the Packers re-sign Blake Martinez at the end of the season? Ooh, Duke, that's a very good question. I'll be surprised if he takes a hometown discount, which is what I think it would take to get him back. He's got his eyes open. He knows what some of these inside backers are signing for, guys who are not nearly as productive as he is. Now, the Packers will probably make the claim, yes, guys like Kenny Clark and Mike Pettin are a reason that you are so productive. Whereas Blake Martinez and his representatives will say, well, those plays have to be made, and Blake is making them. And there are plenty of other teams that run 3-4 that would enjoy his productivity. I do think they will make an offer. I'll be very, very interested to see if Blake accepts it and sticks around. Because I do think he can make a boatload of money on the open market. He's not floating in space. He's in Stranger Things 4. Here, does it help you if I show you the back of the studio? There, look. Oh, hey, studio. Oh, look, LED screen. Oh, hey, what's up? It's just cleaner this way. Nice lens flare. I know, it's just a dirty lens, and I don't have a thing to clean it right now. What are your 3 favorite Led Zeppelin songs? Woo! That's a question. Gotta be, hey, what can I do? Going to California. And then Cashmere, probably. Blake is an asset. I agree. Ooh, Tire Maker's a good one. Yeah. I really don't care who the Packers sign. Just win, baby. Gary, what a refreshing take. Thank you, sir. I think people just want the lampshade back. I'm sure they do. What has Oren Burks really done? What a question. What's he really done anyway? Alex Talish with the super chat. With a 420 super chat, if you please. Thanks, Alex. Eric following up with a super chat. Just give him $5 because I love Cheesehead TV and need to hear you say the Sheldon line from When Harry Met Sally again. Wait, were you in the elevator? I said it the other day on the elevator. Was that you? What is it? No, you did not have great sex with Sheldon. If you need a root canal, Sheldon's your man. But humping and pumping is not Sheldon's strong suit. It's in the name. Do it to me, Sheldon. You're an animal, Sheldon. Ride me big, Sheldon. Doesn't work. Man, didn't let me ask a question. I don't know, Alex. Eric didn't have any problems asking a question. But thank you both for the super chat. What did you want? I wanted to know your take on Madden 20. It's a Madden game. I tell you what, if that game had been out when Tom Grossi and I had played, he might have stood a chance because, boy, do I not know that offensive playbook. But other than that, it's Madden. If you like Madden, which I do, then you'll have some fun. If you don't like Madden, probably won't like it. Other than that, it's Madden. You're the best. Thanks, Tommy. That's very nice of you to say. With Burks out, does this mean Josh Jones? Sam, we just talked about that a little while ago. You can go back and watch the replay. What's the answer to get Lambeau loud? Ooh, Duke, I'm going to reserve my answer here for the return of Packer Transplants next Wednesday, a week from Wednesday. That's right, August 21st. We are back. Corey Banke and I will be here in this here studio for the return, the season premiere, if you will, of Packer Transplants. And you can bet my friend Corey and I will have some thoughts on getting Lambeau loud. Speaking of which, Thursday night, breaking news, Cheesehead TV will be having a watch party for the preseason game. That's right. You can watch Corey and I watch the game. All sorts of excitement. We got tons of great feedback on the family night watch party. So what the hell, right? Let's do another one. Thursday night, Cheesehead TV, right here on the YouTube channel. Watch party for Packers at Ravens. And with that, I'm going to jump. Thank you so much for all the questions. I'm sorry if I couldn't get to yours. Please subscribe to the channel if you don't already. Hey, we hit 10,000 subs before the season started. I finally set a goal that actually got achieved. It's amazing. I forgot what that felt like. So I can't thank you guys enough. Those of you who do subscribe to the channel, thank you. If you don't, please just hit subscribe. I mean, come on. What's the worst that could happen? You get an alert, says I'm live. You can live with that, right? If you're on Facebook, like, share, tell your friends about us. Follow us on Twitter, retweet us there. We're on Instagram. Hell, we're on TikTok. And please, if you do like what we do here at Cheesehead TV, please consider giving us $5 a month on our Patreon, patreon.com/CheeseheadTV. It supports everything we do, including these here chats. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.